Well, how's it going, guys? Today I've got a quick video for you. We're going to talk about 10 things you need to be able to vlog. You guys, would you look at this? Look at this place I found. Holy crap. Mountains everywhere. Parked right here. And look at this. Wow. I think that's where we're going to film this video right there. This is just nuts. Oh my gosh. This is fulfilling the dream of coming to Colorado, that's for sure. There's nobody here. I've got this place all to myself. It's just incredible. Oh man. Here we are, out in the water. This dock is like floating. It's not actually secured to the ground, so a little unstable, but perfect nonetheless because there's nobody else freaking here. There's a couple of guys fishing over there, which is pretty cool. Wouldn't be doing that in Florida. I'm not used to seeing people stand in the water like that. I don't have to worry about any sharks or gators getting me here, so that's pretty nice. Man, just look at this though. Look at this mountain and this beautiful water. Jeez. Well, here we go. Sat down at this bench here on this awesome pier with pretty much paradise behind me. But yeah, so to the topic of the video, wanted to share with you guys 10 things that I use and that I think are pretty important for getting into vlogging. Some of them are obvious, but some of them may not be so obvious, so you know, you might get a little out of this. And the first thing on the list that's the most important other than your camera is making sure you have an ultra-wide lens. With vlogging, it's really important to be able to capture the vast landscape that you're in, like I'm doing right now. I'm able to keep the camera close to me and still get a lot of this background in the shot because I've got this ultra-wide 10-24 lens on my Fuji film camera. It helps me to be able to capture this whole wide landscape, so it sort of makes you guys feel like you're here with me in this video versus using something that's a little bit more normal or telephoto. And there are times and places for that when making YouTube videos and vlogs, but as far as just if I only had one lens to be able to bring with me to be shooting for making these YouTube videos and vlogging, it would be this one, the 10-24. And the second thing on the list, and that's sort of plays off of the lens choice, is you need to have a variable ND filter and step-up rings. What I mean by that is step-up rings allow you to be able to use one size ND filter for all of your lenses, no matter which diameter size each of the front of your lenses are. And the reason why you would use a variable ND is it allows you to cut the light from a different wide range of amount of light coming into your scene to be able to allow you to use the same shutter speed and not have to have your shutter jumping around, and you can adjust your exposure by changing the amount of light coming into the camera through the variable ND filter. That allows you to follow the shutter speed rule of being exactly double your frame rate. So right now I'm shooting 24 frames per second, and I'm able to use a 1/48 second shutter speed to be able to have that cinematic motion that gives it a more cinematic appeal. And the next thing on the list, the third thing, is kind of a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how many people forget this kind of a thing, and that's carrying around multiple extra batteries and memory cards. Nothing is worse than going out on a shoot, heading out to vlog, you've got your backpack and all your gear, and you forgot your extra batteries, and you only have one battery, and you're killing that battery in the first few hours, and then you're screwed. That will kill your shoot faster than anything else. And nowadays you can, fit a lot onto one memory card. Usually if you get like a 128 gig card that I have right now, and I've got a 64 gig card as a backup. With vlogging, you can't really be as intentional with what you're shooting. You're kind of shooting a lot and then edit it down to smaller choices later. So you're sort of just, spraying, shooting as much as you can constantly, and that gives you the most coverage to be able to then build the story in your timeline of your editing program later on. So carrying around a lot of memory cards is useful for that, because that'll also, just like a lack of batteries, will kill your shoot and kill your vlog quicker than anything else. And next up on the list is a quick access backpack. And what I mean by that is you want some sort of travel backpack that's got a lot of storage space in it. some sort of storage compartment in it to be able to store all your camera gear and keep it all safe. I use the Peak Design travel backpack, the 45-liter travel backpack. It's awesome. It's built like a tank. It's super durable, and it's got a lot of quick access points and pockets and flaps and things you can open to be able to access your camera from the side if you want, and it's just a great backpack. And fifth on the list is actually a little bit more of a personal choice, but I think it really goes along with the whole cinematic vlog theme, and that's Tiffin Black Satin filters. I use a Tiffin Black Satin 2 grade filter that's second from their highest grade. It creates a lot of bloom around the highlights in the background, and it softens skin tones a little bit, which is great for 4K video, where the high resolution of 4K is great for a scene, but it's not as good for, exposing skin flaws and whatnot. So it's great for softening the skin tones and creating a cinematic bloom around highlights, and I love it. And you can use that in combination with the variable ND filter to keep a very cinematic look in your shots. And next on the list, number 6, is actually a GorillaPod or tripod that is compact, so you can carry it with you and never feel like you need to leave it behind because it's too heavy or big and cumbersome. The Peak Design travel tripod is great for that. It's what I'm using right now. It's what I use consistently whenever I go out and about. It's fantastic because you're not relying on just having a GorillaPod. A GorillaPod is great, and I do carry one of those with me too for just run and gun vlogging. Having this is great because I can actually sit down, and if I don't have a table or something to put my camera on with the GorillaPod, I just set this up at the appropriate height, be able to get the background in the way I want, and boom, and it's super secure and it's ready to go. I recommend the Peak Design travel tripod because it folds up down to the size of about a water bottle that fits into the water bottle slot on the side of backpacks. No other tripod can do that. But even if you can't afford that and you just don't want to deal with tripods, the Joby GorillaPod is great. That's why it's so popular amongst vloggers like, Casey Neistat, Matty Apoya, Peter McKinnon. Those guys have all used the GorillaPod because they're just so flexible and able to adapt to your environment, and compact and lightweight, and it's great for hand holding your shot as well. And number 7 on the list is something that I'm sure some of you would realize, but it's actually a smartphone with a wide angle lens, and there's only a few options out there, but I love using my iPhone 11 Pro Max for that. It's got the 3 lenses, which is great for run and gun vlogging when you don't want to bring your camera, and the wide angle lens on this thing is fantastic for being able to capture a wide scene just like this and be able to get that natural vlogging look. In a pinch, when you're going into a restaurant or something and you're with people and friends and family and stuff, and you don't want to carry your big camera rig and make everybody feel uncomfortable, taking your phone and just filming with that seems so much more casual and low-key. And nowadays, this thing can get fantastic 4K stabilized footage, and it looks fantastic. So I can interject these shots in and out of shots done with my main camera, and it works. And number 8 on the list is maybe more of an option for some people because they can get a little bit pricey, and it's got a little bit of a learning curve to use it, but it's a drone. I love the DJI Mavic Air for that because for me it's the perfect size and compactness, but still shoots full 4K, is really good, has a good color reproduction with it. It's pretty easy to fly, it's pretty fast, and if you get a few batteries with it, you can fly that thing for hours. In the times where a drone is appropriate, nothing can match the amazing scale it can reproduce for just doing the area justice, to be able to portray how beautiful it is, or how huge the mountains are, or how big this lake is, and it comes in handy. And number 9 on the list is a compact telephoto lens. I have the Fujifilm 55 to 200 millimeter lens, and it is a compact telephoto lens. I mean, 55 to 200 is like a 70 to 300 millimeter equivalent on a full frame. That's going to cover almost any need you'll have out while vlogging. I don't use it that much because I don't like the telephoto look when it comes to video, but sometimes when you don't have time to put the drone in the air, or you don't have time to move close to your subject, it's nice to be able to pop that telephoto lens on and be able to zoom in real close to whatever subject it is you're trying to capture, and it does the job well. And last but not least, you probably guessed it, the most important thing that you need to be able to vlog is your camera. And for me, I value 3 things most in a camera for vlogging. It needs to be small enough to be able to be handheldable and compact enough to be able to throw in a bag easily. It needs to have decent autofocus that you can trust, and it also needs to have a wide dynamic range capability. That's where the Fujifilm XT4 comes in and does a fantastic job. It's got decent autofocus that you can trust in most situations. It's lightweight and small and compact, and it's got fantastic dynamic range when you're using the F-Log format, which is what I shoot all these videos in, F-Log. For me, having a wide dynamic range in your video allows you to be able to be more forgiving with, run and gun vlogging. If you have trust in your camera to not blow out the highlights, if you get the exposure wrong, you can trust that your camera's gonna not blow out the highlights or blow out the shadows too much, and you're gonna be able to recover a lot of that in post. Not to mention the fact it just looks super cinematic and adds to that cinematic vlogging appeal. When you combine the F-Log footage with the Tiffin black satin filter that gives a little bit of a hazy cinematic look, and then you're using the proper shutter speed with a variable ND filter, and you're shooting at 24 frames per second, your video is going to look far above and better than anybody else who's not using those things. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to head out. It's getting a little dark now. I'm going to go ahead and head out, head back to the hotel, meet up with Brittany, my wife, have some dinner, and enjoy the evening. And I'll be back at it again tomorrow shooting another video. So I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. This channel is all about photography, travel, and beach life. I'm out here in Colorado right now, so we're not touching on that beach life, but I'll be back in Florida soon enough. But alright guys, later.